Hello, 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 filter-free America listeners. We are back once again for another episode of the Filter-Free America podcast. You and me and you. And I don't know if you're listening to this without earphones on, maybe like a loud system. And whoever else is sitting next to you that you're just rudely interrupting with the sound of my voice, they're listening to us too now. So I hope they're enjoying it, whatever. Welcome to the show, guys. Let's knock out the sponsor real fast. This is a kind of a long episode, so I'm going to knock this intro out, boom, 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 record time, and get you into the episode, get you in and out quick and in a hurry. Our sponsor, you know who it is. Say it 3 times with me. Simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us. simplewebsite.us. That is where you go when you want to build a Squarespace website, but you need a little help, right? Maybe you need a little help. Maybe you need a medium amount of help. Maybe you need somebody to do it all completely for you. But whatever amount of help you need, go to simplewebsite.us and you will find it there. Like I said, if you need some free help, they've got that. They've got some tips. They've got some video courses that you get just absolutely free, just to help you ease the process, so to speak, in if when you want to tackle building a Squarespace website on your own. Boom, it's there for you. But if you want to go ahead and contact them and talk to them about what they can do for you as far as helping you more directly, they can do that. Or like I said, they can take your website ideas and build it for you from the ground up. Whatever it is, just talk to them first and see what they can do for you before you make your decision when it comes to building a Squarespace website. So go to simplewebsite.us. simplewebsite.us one more time so it sticks in your brain and stays there and clings to every inch of your brain so you always know their website. It's simplewebsite.us. Support them because they are supporting us. All right, let's talk about is there any other business stuff I had to take care of? I don't think so. This episode's too long. If there's any other business stuff, I'll take care of it in the next episode. Our guest today, comedian Drew Hehir. Drew Hehir here in the Twin Cities, a very funny guy. Did I say he was a comedian? Yeah, he's a funny guy, comedian. He is coming in to talk to us about, he was an exchange student he went to Germany, right? Okay, so he's like went to go stay with a German family. He's like fluent in German now. He's made multiple trips to Germany. So the main reason I invited him over was to tell me about that. I wanted to know what it was like, him traveling to Germany, the exchange program. You know, basically it's going to be, you know, what's it like being American going to a foreign country? Those kind of questions. And that was the main, you know, reason for getting over here. And that's what we talked about. And we have a lot of interesting conversations about that. We make a bunch of dark and sometimes politically incorrect jokes about Germans and Holocaust and everything else. That kind of slips in there. Oops, sorry about that. But again, just jokes. And what else we talk about? Oh, yeah, that's right. In the very beginning, right? In the very beginning of the episode, here's the deal. He was late. He was late to show up for the recording. Gave him a specific time. Okay, here, show up around this time. He was like half hour late. Reason he was late, his DWI device, his blow machine. You know what I'm talking about? The thing you got to blow your car. No, that doesn't sound right. You don't got to blow your car. You got to blow this into this device so your car will start if you've had a DWI, that type of deal. Okay, that makes more sense. There you go. He like set it off like with some mouthwash or something. So he had to like chill at the house until it reset in his car or whatever. So he like told me that. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we're going to talk about that when you get here too. So the very first part of the conversation is him telling me about why he was late. And they did the process for how he has to start his car, and then we talk about how he got his DWI. So you get like a little bonus content on top of the story about him going to Germany. But yeah, that's what the episode's about. Yeah, it's not like a super gory episode. There's not a lot of violence in this episode. There's some drug use, a little bit of sex references. There's quite a bit of jokes. Just basically, we're talking about just the culture shock of going from the U.S. to Germany. So we talk about that a lot, and I think this is just a good change of pace for some of the episodes that we've had before. We've had a lot of kind of rougher episodes, and been a little bit more calling out cop type episodes and some gore episodes and things like that. So this is just going to be a little bit more of a kind of the human experience episode. But for those of you who are fans of the kind of the shocking and the bizarre, The next episode is going to be definitely ready for you. So just to give you a hint about that, I have a guest who's a very special person in my life. And they came in and they told me a very hard to talk about story. And it was a story about she's adopted. Her and her sister were adopted, and they were molested by their adopted family father. Just the father, not the whole family. The adopted father. So that's going to be the next episode. And there's a surprise twist to that episode. I'm not gonna give that one out. What the surprise is, but you'll know when I release the episode. So be looking for that one and the next one. I don't know if that's going to come out this week or next week. I'm still trying to stack up some episodes and all that. And, I do have some business I want to tell you. Boom, good news. I just talked to Tony Williamette, longtime listeners of the both my old radio show and the original podcast. You will know that Tony Williamette was one of the producers for Filter Free America and for my radio show. And he found a bunch of old Filter Free America episodes from the first time we were a podcast, and that I thought were gone forever. And he's got, I think we have about 30 different episodes, and there's some really, really good ones in there, including like interviews with Sage Francis and a couple bigger name comedians, Lee Camp being one of them. And I'm going to go through those and pick some of the best ones and re-release them as kind of like lost episodes of Filter Free America. And so they'll be available again to people who've heard it before if you want to check them out again, or people who've never heard them. Some of them are timeless and definitely worth listening to, even though they're 2 or 3 years old. So I'm going to re-release those and for a little additional content for you there. So yeah, that's the business I had to take care of. Okay, now let's get you in this episode. Again, longer episode. Hope you like longer ones. This is a good one for you. If not, move on to the next one. Whatever. Guest today is Drew Hehir, comedian. We're talking mostly about Germany. So we need a name for the episode. Germany. His name is Drew Hehir. Oh, let's just make it easy. Germany with Drew. That's the name of the episode. This is Germany with Drew, right here on Filter Free America. Let's go. So, what happened on your way to the studio today?
Well, I wanted to appear hygienic for you, so I showered and I...
Thank you.
For only certain people get that treatment.
I appreciate it.
And afterwards, I even decided to brush my teeth. But I did this thing afterwards where I rinsed with mouthwash.
Okay.
And mouthwash, of course, has alcohol in it.
It does.
And, a lot of people are cautious when they drink and drive, but I have to be cautious when drinking and trying to start my car because I have a breathalyzer in it.
So you had a DWI?
Yeah. It was...
Now, did you win that as a prize for doing good, or how did you get that DWI? What was the...
I kind of tell a bit about it, but it's always the true statement is I don't remember what happened. I remember being at home with some friends and we were having a good time, and then the next thing I know, I'm in front of an officer outside of my car.
Okay.
Apparently, what had happened was I got hungry and I wanted a quesadilla from Hard Times.
Okay.
And one of the friends was like, "Hey, could you just drop me off when you go do that?" I was like, "Sure, let's do it." Because I didn't know.
Right. How much do you know how much you had to drink before this trip?
But at that point, I would have only guessed maybe 6 shots.
Just 6.
Yeah. Just,
what were you drinking?
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah. At that point, it could have been anything. We were messing with Sailor Jerry's. Have you ever heard of Admiral Nelson?
No.
It's a really bad ripoff, but
is that what, a knockoff of Captain Morgan is?
Pretty much. It was if Admiral Nelson lifted a leg, there would have been a lawsuit. Is what we would say.
Is that 100%.
But I don't know. So we did that. I got him home safe.
Right.
I had gotten my quesadilla. It was in the passenger seat. But then 3 blocks from my house, I blacked out and fell asleep with my foot on the brake. And then eventually a cop came up behind me. The light turned green, and then it turned yellow, and then it turned red. And they're like, "All right, this guy." And that's how they got me. I was what they call a slumper. I found out.
So the complete opposite of a high-speed chase.
Yeah, and
No pit maneuver required.
I don't know how it came about, but like I remember coming to and seeing the officer and just I felt like we were in
It's the worst way to wake up ever. Anytime I've woke up at least once to cops in a house. That sucks.
It's never good,
right?
Waking up to cops in almost any situation, I don't think has ever been.
Because it's not like it's a good news thing. I mean, you never have a cop. Like, you never wake up and a cop's there like, okay, it's time for your blowjob. It's never that. It's never that.
For real?
Or if it is, it's a really bad blowjob.
It's the saddest, and that's the
what kind of handcuffs are these? They're made of lips. What?
I found out through my attorney later, like going through court and stuff. He was asking for my information through like the district attorney, whatever it is, the office.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gave this woman behind the counter my information, she said, "Oh, the blowjob guy. This is a real thing." He was like, "What?"
What?
And apparently after I had done the breathalyzer, and then they had brought me down to the station to do the second like breath test, like the more accurate one. And before we did it, I was like, wait. How was my first blowjob? Like I was the first, but I meant to say like how was the first breath test, but that's just how it came out.
Right.
And they're like, that's pretty funny. I was like, I didn't mean to, but you know, I'm a comedian. Like, and they're like, yeah, then you're meant to be here. But no, it was pretty rough. I started coming to when I had to take my clothes off and put on like the jumpsuit, you know.
What was this, Minneapolis police? What?
Yeah, it was Hennepin.
Oh, nice.
One of the arresting officers knew my sister because she's a paramedic. So he's like, is Jenica your sister? And I was like, yeah. And he's like,
is it going to help me in the situation?
It did not. Not even a little. No. He tried to get a date out of it, which was ridiculous, but good on him, I guess.
Oh, wow. Well, if you would have let you go, then maybe it would have worked on it.
I swear. I was
work,
3 blocks from my house.
You know how deals work? How deal is going to jail. So, what is his first time DWI?
Yeah, only time.
Oh, only time.
You're
done getting them. You've got one. One's enough.
Well, I've learned my lesson. I made my mom sad enough. So I had to take a whole semester of college because of it.
It's not like NBA championships where you need like 3 or 4 of them to prove your manhood. You just need one.
Yeah.
You're good.
When I went to the DUI class, there was a guy who was like, this is my 7th one. I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
It's a weird thing about Minnesota. I don't know if it's like in other states. I don't know if I didn't pay attention, but they've got record setters here, like double-digit DWI, and I don't know how the hell that shit happens. No, I don't know how they're still alive, number one.
Yeah, exactly. How they keep making the decision and getting away with it as many times, I'm sure, as they do before they get caught.
Holy shit. So what was your punishment?
Well, the end result was I had blew a .16.
What's the I'm not a big drinker, so what's the
legal limit is .08, so I blew double that.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know, after going to court and dealing with everything, I avoided the gross misdemeanor, got a misdemeanor, had to do 2 days of community service since I spent 1 night in jail. And I don't know, other than that, just paying for the Intoxilock in my car.
Intoxilock, that's fancy.
It's super nice. Like they've got the name down. But like that's $100 a month. I had to do the driver's license fee, and that was like $765. And then every other month, just to recalibrate everything, another $16. And then I have to pay my lawyer like another $750 on top of the $1,500 I've already paid. Like it's just when they get you with a DUI, they know the 2 worst punishments are keeping you locked up somewhere, and then you just fucking pay money for a while, and it's ridiculous.
It's like a little slave punishment there for a while. It's like they know they got you screwed. You get it, you know.
Mm-hmm. They got me backed up into a corner, but I'm almost done. So,
congrats on that.
Just trying to stay positive, do what you gotta do, you get done.
They say no more DWIs, but what about when weed becomes legal? And are you gonna get like a smoking while driving ticket? I mean, that's a different thing, right? Isn't that
Well, if I can get one, I've already got one. I might as well get the other. You know?
right? You gotta have a matching set.
I have to do it.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for sharing that part of the story.
Yeah.
I was always curious about that thing. I don't know the whole blow. Well, let me ask you this: Do you ever blow in a thing and it failed, and like you couldn't leave, but you weren't drinking? Is it like any miss fails like that or mistake?
Yeah.
Errors?
I should have mentioned that right away. It happened on the way here.
Oh.
Because of the Listerine in the mouthwash, when I blew into my breathalyzer, I failed the first time, and I had to wait an extra 5 minutes because it tells you have to do a retest in 5 minutes. And then after that one, I passed. But if I failed again, it would have just made me do another test, but in 2.5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it ever just fail completely and you just can't drive?
Never happened yet.
Not yet.
There was one time where I was driving after I had passed to start my car, and then I had failed it, like while driving, and I was like, shit, my car is going to turn off. But it just kept doing its thing, and it was like, do a retest. I was like, okay. And I did another one. I failed that one. I was like, what the fuck? But I had a Listerine spray that I had forgotten about, kind of similar situation.
Right.
I never learned, apparently.
What about it wasn't this season or last, it was like the season before last, or maybe it was last season, where that Vikings player, they picked him up. He was a receiver they picked up from Arizona just because he had a bunch of DWI issues when he was with Arizona.
What?
And then when they got him here, they gave him like a 1 year kind of try me deal, see if he could prove himself, because he was at one point he was a good receiver.
Right.
And then he gets here, and then he like immediately blows, because he's like on this system kind of like you are. Mm-hmm. He blows like a bad test, and he blames it on kombucha.
Kombucha.
Do you remember that? It was like a big deal in the news like last football season. At least on the radio, sports radio.
I mean, I hear about kombucha a lot.
Because it does have minimal amount of alcohol.
Right.
So do you drink it, or are you
No, I've never actually had kombucha.
I love kombucha, so I was wondering.
I've heard good things. I'm not like opposed to it, but I haven't like gone out of my way to.
But apparently it does have a minimal amount of alcohol in it.
Yo, man, he shouldn't have been messing with that kombucha, dude. It's dangerous stuff.
So, that sounds legit then? I mean, you could drink like kombucha, and like if you immediately were to blow right after?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I'll limit myself to one beer if I'm driving and if I know I'm staying at a place long enough.
Right.
But there have been times, of course, where I kind of get my timing messed up, or like I slow sip a beer for like an hour, and I get to the end of it, and it's like, all right, I'm ready to go. But since I just had that last sip a minute ago, I get in my car, it knows I just had a sip, so it'll fail me. But then I just like rinse my mouth out, smoke a cigarette while it counts down from 5 minutes. I blow it again and I'll pass.
Oh, bro, what about in the future, like when they make cigarettes illegal? And you gotta you blow, and then it could tell you're smoking cigarettes. You can't drive your car because you just got done smoking a black market fucking Marlboro Red.
Just kill me. I better not have anything in my car stop me. And at that point, I gotta stay out of trouble.
The future is bright. Let's talk about what you came here to talk about. All right. So you at a point in your life, how old are you now?
I am 25. 26 in November.
26. So earlier in your life, you made multiple trips to Germany.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough in high school to I was doing well enough in my German studies. They had this exchange program that they had for years with this other school in Germany, where different students would link up with other students and then stay with their families.
Okay.
So it was like me and my 3 best friends, and then some like other high school kids from our class going to Germany to stay with these other German students and their families. And I don't know, I think the only pair that like fit the best was mine and my exchange brother. Like okay. It was too perfect. Like it started off a little rocky, but it like I don't know, it was the experiences we had right off the bat that just like connected us in a way.
So your other friends that went with the other 2 guys, they just kind of were oddball as far as the people they were linked up with?
Yeah, like one of my best friends was linked up with this guy who was like in the German high school, and I don't know. I guess he would like get drunk and like beat him up at night.
What?
And stuff. Yeah, and I was like, "Why didn't you tell anyone?" He was like, "Well, I just, I figure
thought it was part of their culture.
Yeah,
he
he was just going with it. He was like, "You're just kind of angry," and I was like, "Well, don't put up with don't just."
Holy shit!
Yeah, so I don't know. He had that experience. I had one.
See, rest of the world, it's not just Americans who are assholes. Holy shit!
Yeah. He just, would drink and then...
And the Germans, of all people known and historically not to bully anybody.
Never, man.
Never.
Peaceful.
Well...
Peaceful. Pretty much neutral.
Almost perfectly.
Forever. As long as I can remember. I don't know.
Don't bully anybody.
I don't know. When I first went there on that exchange, I remember in a religion course, the teacher came up to me and was like, "So, do all Americans still believe we're Nazis?" And I was like... Yeah, pretty much. And she was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, sadly, because a lot of people like just don't question it. It's like, oh, I heard about World War II. Like, I heard about that. I heard the stories from my grandma. She said it.
She said it was really bad.
She said it was really bad. I really trust my grandma. I love her. And if she said it was bad, I don't know, like."
What about everything we've done since? We stopped reading. After
I mean,
the 50s, 1950s, 1960s, we kind of pulled out of
you guys had a
reading.
wall, okay. You tore it down. We're just getting ours. So we
haven't even built ours yet.
You guys are idiots. Walls are back in.
Oh man. So again, this is a school thing.
Yeah.
Do you have to volunteer for this, or did everybody have to do this?
I mean, it took some money, and like for me, my mom was drug testing me at this time to make sure like if I like had a dirty piss that I wasn't going to Germany. So
okay.
so
you had some drug issues going into this, or?
I mean, like I had started smoking weed, and she wasn't a fan of it. Like,
okay, so your mom's just a square. Okay,
yeah. I mean, it was like it's illegal. Don't do it. Now I'm older, and she.
So this wasn't like punishment for that, though, was it?
No,
it was
no.
You keep smoking that weed, I'm gonna send you with those Nazis.
You're gonna go hang out with them for a while. Figure out how life works.
Oh, you like to get baked, huh? I'll send you somebody that likes to bake people.
Oh, shit.
Teach you all about that.
And they loved Hitler and like that time jokes. At least my group of friends that I made out there.
Well, I thought it was illegal. Oh, hold on. Okay, so now clear up this myth.
Yeah.
Because I was just listening to Ari Shafir's podcast, and he just had on the dude. You'll probably get some out of this. He wasn't a comedian, but now he's a comedian. He's kind of like an internet personality. But he was the guy that taught his girlfriend's dog to respond when he says "gas the Jews." Did you? It was like a viral video, and she's got like this really cute little pug dog, and when she was away, he taught the dog that whenever he said "gas the Jews," the dog would perk up and get excited.
Oh my god!
And he taught him to I forget what was the trigger to make him do it, but he would do a little Nazi salute. He would sit up on his hind legs and put his little paw up in the air.
Oh my goodness.
And so he put it on YouTube. And it was just supposed to be just a prank for his girlfriend.
Right.
Because the girlfriend just loved this dog. Mm-hmm. And he just wanted to do something ugly.
Right. So terrible.
Right. And then he put it on YouTube, and I guess somebody found it. You know how YouTube works. I guess he wasn't thinking.
One after another.
Yeah, and he went on this like trip for 3 or 4 days after loading that up, and it went viral. And
always how it works.
The government started looking for him. He got arrested for this for essentially like a hate crime. You got to listen to the episode. It was one of the more recent Ari Shafir episodes. Skeptic Tank is his podcast, but
good podcast. Great podcast.
But he's out, and they're like trying to find him, which is essentially like $1,000 for just this prank.
Yeah.
About that. Mm-hmm. So it's a hit crime. So I'm ignorant. I haven't ever left the continental United States. So what's the legit deal then? Is it legal? Can I go over there and just start making like weird Nazi jokes and references and be fine? Or what's the
Yeah, it is one in very poor taste. Like my friends.
Have you seen this show? Have you heard this show?
I haven't seen this.
It's just me talking about masturbating in between other people talking. That's really all it is.
I'm gonna have to.
It's poor taste.
Oh,
It's the second name choice.
it was. I don't know. Like if you Nazi salute like in public, and it's one of those, like you go to jail. Like you're getting locked up. You're paying some fines. You're screwed.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Like they can't use the number 88 in like sports and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, because it's supposedly like HH, which stands for like Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't know. So these are things I've heard from them, and I haven't seen an 88.
So is that like across the board? Like, can you do like that weird Wakanda thing when you cross your arms, like in Black Panther? Is a salute? Is it like across the board, no salutes of any kind? Or is it just specifically Hitler Nazi?
I mean, there's a pretty big difference between like top of the morning salute and then like the gates, like just arms straight in the air. Like
for those listening at home, he just gave the Nazi salute.
I did.
Don't feel
I
safe.
did. Come get me, Germany. It's too late.
They're gonna crawl through the wires.
Oh.
So, but your friend, so like they do it kind of like underground, like it's like.
I mean, like, you know, like in a conversation where they're in a room, they're just like a couple buddies that, like drinking at like one place together. Like, yeah, they'll like make little jokes about it, but like they're not.
Is this just a weird group you were with, or is this like commonplace?
I mean, I ran into people
like VP
that
of
were
Mercedes or something.
I've run into people who were a little more extreme with it, who did not care, and I don't know, they were just loud and kind of obnoxious, but that's just, I guess, who they were about it.
Give me an example of extreme, like out in public.
All right, so my first experience like with my German exchange brother, his name was Jonas.
Okay.
His name is Jonas, I should say. Stop it. Sorry, there's a dog here whining at my face.
That's part of. He becomes part of the podcast. He has to whine and cry and try to get attention the whole time. Bentley, chill, buddy.
But so I don't know. The first day there, we all get off the plane and like we're meeting each other's exchange students, and everyone's super excited to see one another. And which is a separate story. But I am like coming off of like sleeping after having an edible for the trip. After, you know, not smoking for so long to get on this trip, I was saving up a brownie.
Right.
And it was the most powerful brownie I've had up to date. But
how many milligrams?
Oh, I don't even know.
Oh, wow.
I was like, high school. Like one of our buddies' older brother made a bunch of them. I saved it for 3 months, and then there it was. But when I got off the plane, I saw my exchange brother. He ran up to me, was like super excited, happy to see me. He's like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And I go, "What's up?" Like they're like, "Oh, great, we got the fucking loser, man. Like we got the quiet, boring guy."
Right.
But then like our third night there, we finally go to this thing called the Bachfisch Fest.
Okay.
And the Bachfisch Fest is just kind of a tiny festival where you'd imagine any German thing happening. Lederhosen was there.
What's the comparison to like something here in the United States?
Like maybe a Dakota County Fair kind of thing. Okay. Like a small county fair.
Okay.
Like they had Ferris wheel, I think.
So a lot of sixes when it comes to women. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, quite a few.
Gotcha.
That was the night where it was like, let's do this, you know?
Right.
My American friends were there. My German exchange brother and like his friends were there. It was like, it's go time, let's do this. So right away we get there. My exchange brother Jonas, he goes, "Yeah, you want a beer?" I go, "Yeah, that's Germany, let's do this." You know, that was the whole mindset of the night. That's
what Germany. Age were you here?
17.
17. And yeah. what is there a legal drinking age there, or is it just
16 for beer, 18 for hard liquor?
Okay.
And 18 for cigarettes.
Okay.
But one of the shops couldn't read my date of birth, so they kept fucking it up, and I kept getting cigarettes. It was great. But the night, of course, we have one beer turns into two. You know, you want 4 or 5 more. Yeah, that's Germany. Let's just keep going. And like by the end of the night, I was at I think it was 14 beers, and then a shot of Jack and Coke, and a shot of vodka and lemon.
Are these aren't like Budweiser type beers either?
No,
these
they're
thick,
like
Guinnessy type.
They're not like the boots or nothing that
Okay.
you see on there, but it was just like, you know.
Well, alcohol content. It's
pretty heavy.
okay.
Heavy stuff. And the last thing I remember is there's a girl that I met in their class the day before. And she ran up to me. She was like, "Drew!" Super excited to see me. I was like, "Elena," because that was her name. And
She's
like
German or
she was German.
okay. She hot?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She was looking really good.
Okay.
But she like came up and gave me a hug, and then I started biting her neck, and she was like, "Drew, stop! I have a boyfriend." And I was like, "Who cares?" And I smacked
And that's when you
her
say,
ass.
"I'm an American, though."
If only that works out more often.
Jeez.
But then I slapped her butt, and that was the last thing I remember. There are pictures of me like just drunk, like leaning up against a wall and stuff. But I don't know. At the end of the night, Jonas, myself, and Jonas's friend Mats, we go to the nearby bus stop to wait for Jonas's parents to pick us up to bring us home. And I'm gone. I
Right.
remember none of this. I'm told this later by Jonas. While at this bus stop, a couple of like big like Turkish dudes come up to us,
Okay.
and like the main one in their group comes up to me, and goes, "Get me that get," which is like, "Give me your money," and I just started laughing. And Jonas and his friend Mats are like just like staying still. Jonas is trying to like be like, "Dude, chill out," and I'm like, "That's Germany." So I pulled out my wallet and I gave him a $5 like bill, American, and the dude looked at it, and then he looked at his buddies, and then he swung his arm around me, and he goes, "We got a drunk American," and took my $5 and left. But I don't know, I avoided a big
That was it?
situation there. Yeah, just at the bus stop waiting. And then when they arrived, it was Jonas, me, and then Mats in the back seat. So I was in the middle of both of them. They were kind of keeping me stable.
All right.
And then I guess somewhere on the ride home, I'm leaning over on Jonas, and I just start throwing up all over him. And he doesn't want that to happen.
You're really doing your part to spread democracy
Yeah,
across the
right.
planet in the name of America.
Exactly. And so he doesn't want me doing that on him. So he shoves me. So I puke across the car onto his friend Mats.
But America, we puke on all our friends.
If I'm puking on one person, I'm puking on everyone here.
Right.
And of course, he doesn't want me puking on him either, though. So he pushed me back, and it's just back and forth. So you've seen a Wacky Wiggler sprinkler back in the day? I was one of those in the
But with
back seat of
vomit.
that car. Yeah, 100%.
Fair enough.
They pull over, and I gotta assume on the Autobahn. That's the only way to do it.
Right.
And they
I just
push
assumed
me-
every road in Germany is Autobahn. Is that how it works?
No,
I'm
it's
American.
just one good highway. But they threw me out on the side of the road until I finished puking, and they get me back in the car, and we get home. They get me into the room while like the dad starts cleaning the car, and they like take off the clothes that I've puked in, and
This is an educational program, right? Exchange program.
yeah, I'm 17. I should have not been drinking at all. And they put me in the bed that I'm staying in. And as soon as they put me in the bed, I puke all over the bed. And then they put me on the ground. And then I wake up the next morning. And remember, the last thing I remember is slapping that girl's butt.
Right.
So I wake up on the ground in my underwear. And I'm like, all right, something cool might happen. And I turn around, I see Jonas in the doorway, like in his underwear. I was like, oh no. Took a strange turn, and he's like,
At least it wasn't one of the Turkish guys. 'Cause that would've been different.
where am I? And he's like, you need to come upstairs. I was like, what happened last night? He's like, you need to come upstairs. And I put on a shirt and some shorts, and I walk upstairs, and they're both sitting at like their dining room table. Like, Dad's got a paper in hand, like super old school 90s like sitcom, just like paper up, and the mom's just like sitting there waiting. And then I come through the doorway, Dad just like shuffles the newspaper down, and I walk in trying to be delightful and say, "Guten Morgen," like good morning. And they go, Morgan. Like, no, it's just morning. It's not a good morning. It is morning. And they're like, "Do you remember anything that happened last night?" And I was like, "No." And then they told me all this, and I was like, "Oh my God." And
this is night 1?
this is the third night there.
Okay. Well, you're damn near family 3 nights into.
You know, they gotta know who they're getting.
Continent. Jesus. They figure this shit out by now.
But it was also technically Jonas's fault, because him and his friends had planned from before I had gotten there to get me as fucked up as possible. So he was like, "I just didn't think it was going to go down like that." And I was like, I didn't either, man. I was ready for it. And then, I don't know, they of course said, they're like, "We get it, you're American, you want the experience. But if this happens again, we're going to tell the program and you're going to be out of here." And I was like, I promise it won't happen again. And it didn't. But it was like their last day of school. And the night before the last day, everyone went to like camp out at like a local park near like a lake, and just drink and party all night. And
let me ask you this: what's of the German people there? Is it all just like Aryan German people? What's the demographics going on there now?
I mean, it's pretty diverse in the time I've been there. Like, I guess an equivalence like to America, like the Mexican population here is similar to the Turkish population in Germany.
Okay.
Because there was economic, I think, just destruction in Turkey, and everyone left there as refugees to Germany so they could work and send money and stuff back to their families. But then, of course, so many people just decided to stay, and their families started coming, so then it just became this pileup of people, and was
that the largest minority population then in Germany is Turkish?
I would say, I can only say in my experience, it seems so. But like, I mean, you get a little bit of everything. And
is there black people there?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. There are definitely black people in Germany. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is this like African black people, or is this like American expat black people? Is this?
I've met a black American that had gone over there and just like moved there and been there for the last like 14 years.
And he's loving it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I know a guy named Marvin who was born and raised. He's black. Dad's black, mom's black, all German. And then, of course, there are people like from France. You know, I don't know, being in that spot, like Germans get to travel a lot because they're right next to France and Sweden and Austria, all the different places they want to go.
Right.
Kind of this tight little package.
Which is cool when you live in Europe, because you get to go all these like cool different places. Like here in America, like you either go to Canada, which is fucking Boringsville, or you go to Mexico, which is like meh, like it's like Southern California, extra.
It's like, I don't know, you're not going to a whole different country, but it's weird to think about. Like each state in its own way is so different from one another. You can kind of look at it that way.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah, you're right.
But like, it's not as gratifying knowing you're staying within your one place and just kind of going to different states. I don't know. I feel like people, when they're counting numbers, they're like, it's all about continents, bro. Like,
right.
What continent you? But I don't know.
Country counts for something.
Yeah,
it's got to count for something.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about Jewish people?
Jewish people? Yeah, still there.
They're there.
Oh yeah.
Are they cool?
I mean, yeah, they gotta be.
I mean
they're on a tight leash. You know?
What's the like day-to-day relationship between the average German and the average Jewish person there now? Does it ever get weird? Is it like whites and blacks on the slavery topic? Is it that kind of weird? You know, like,
I guess it really depends on where you are and who you're asking. You know, like, are there any
Germans telling Jews like, okay, just get over it? It was a long time ago. Just how the southern racist whites do here. Okay, black people, get over it now.
Yeah. We've had enough time. We're done with it, right? He's dead. We've moved on.
Look, we've lost our labor force. We feel bad. We feel it too.
Everything's going to shit since then. Right. No, the weirder thing is they have, I think, more of a thing. I guess now there's kind of this whole political uprising going on over there. But, like, the way I've always learned it through, like, German studies and, like, classes, is they had a bigger issue with, like, East and West Germans.
Okay.
So, like, before the wall, of course, East Germany was owned by the Soviets, and West was with the Allies, U.S., UK, and France. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. I wasn't the best student.
Right.
I just learned the language. I thought that was important. But then, of course, they had such different experiences. Soviets kind of massacred, raped, pillaged, just fucked their side, and everyone on the West kind of had the freedoms of capitalism, I suppose.
Right.
And when the wall came down, it was such a big thing that, like, I don't know, it was two completely different cultures coming back together. Once they were, like, already one unified country, now they're coming back, like.
And it was like a slow, pace back into each other's, existence.
Yeah.
It was just like walking down, like, hey, you're back together now.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out.
Exactly.
Everything's fine now. Everything's good. Reagan said something.
I don't know, like, my friends, there's this guy named Felix and there's another guy named Pillow.
Okay.
And Pillow's originally...
Pillow?
It's Philip, but everyone calls him Pillow because he's, like, fat. That's how they described it to me when I met them. And I never questioned
German fat shaming. All right. They're good at that, too. They're good at everything.
They love it. And it's funny because he's from East Germany, so Felix, he's one of the funniest guys ever. Half the things he says is too fast because it's a lot of slang and all this, but you can hear in just how he says things and how he times them and how funny he is. But whenever he's going after Pillow, he'll be like, you fucking East German, like, disgusted. Really? Yeah, and, like, it's all fun and games, of course, but, like.
And these guys, if they're around your age, right?
Yeah.
So they're barely old enough to even experience that. So now they're just
going with it,
commenting off of history,
Right. And it's just kind of like the normal thing.
I'm just letting all that soak in. That's weird how that works. Huh. How about this? Mm-hmm. Of the group that you were your best buddy who's over there and your other friends that you made over there, what subgroup are they? Like, here we got our hipsters and we got our rednecks and we got our I don't know, all these other groups. Mm-hmm. Are there groups like that in German culture over there? Like, are there, like, like preppy Germans versus stoner Germans versus whatever? Yeah, skateboarders, German, same kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, like, those, of course, have, like, their separation of, like, people who have, like, similar interests, of course, aim at one thing. So, yeah, they've got the preppier people, but I guess in my friend group, it's kind of harder to nail down. Like, I don't know. There's this special sweetheart in Germany who, I know, we had always been in contact. We don't talk as much anymore, but like, she is Argentinian and German.
Oh, that sounds hot.
Super hot, gorgeous,
Ugh.
Super cool. We used to talk for hours, like Skyping and just messaging, whatever. But then, I don't know.
That's code for masturbating when he was talking.
I mean, like, I don't know. My laptop was stolen. I can't mention what was on it.
Okay.
But what am I trying to say? she was like a punk kind of weird chick.
I'm in love with her already.
Yeah,
you
awesome.
just described her in words. And
Yeah, she's awesome. She has a friend who is actually from the States, who's like
any
a
girl that's got
there.
a little bit of punk goth
Mm-hmm.
with some Asian or Hispanic.
Goth, but like she's well, maybe actually even a little bit. Yeah, she
Yeah,
was like she was like the
awesome.
My exchange brother always called her the ghetto kid because she was like younger and like smoking weed already and like I don't
Nice.
know. But my group, like they like soccer, they like sports, they like video games, they like drinking, they like having an excuse to party. Like it was hard to put them in a group like I could with people here, especially like when I was already in high school
Mm-hmm.
and like my life was already kind of seeing the pattern of people. But when you got there, it's like I don't know, maybe it was something to do with the classes and how their teachers would leave and like a different teacher would come in, so you have your class, and then just different teachers would come in and teach.
You wouldn't change
different...
classrooms; you just change teachers.
Right.
Oh, so you just like the same core group of people.
Right, and
Kinda
like
like
everyone
I
in
did
that class does different stuff.
Okay.
And
Okay, how about this?
mm-hmm.
I'm asking you like a lot of stuff as from the dumb Americans' perspective of like,
Fair
what's
enough.
this stuff? What's this like?
Right.
What were their questions like of you about? Well, like what were like the top few questions? Like, okay, what about this? Is it what I heard this in America is this? What were the big secrets they wanted to know? What were they most curious about our culture over here? And
it's a good question. Well, for a lot of Germans, they start to learn English like real young, usually like third grade-ish kind of equivalent, and they keep that up usually throughout their studies. So like their English is so much better than when I go over there. It's like I don't know. The thing I came into the most is
their English is probably better than mine right now today. Probably.
Some. But a lot of them
At least the spelling.
would have that thing where it's like they really want to practice their English.
Okay.
But I also really just wanted to practice my German. So we would kind of get in this curmudgeon situation where it's like I start speaking German to them and they start speaking English. And then as I start losing my grip on the German, they started losing their grip on the English, and we'd just switch, and I'd start speaking English and they'd start speaking German. I don't know. What was the question?
Did they have any specific questions about things?
Right.
Things that
Right.
Things that they were curious about American culture. Things that are either that were like a myth or something like that they didn't have the answers to. They had to get it from an American directly. Something that they were specifically curious about.
Well, one thing
like why do we do this, or why is this, or
I don't know if this is the exact like answer to that question, but a similar kind of thing. You know how Westerns like cowboys and Indians was such a popular thing here? It's still like a popular thing in Germany. Like
okay,
I don't know, they
talking about just the movies or
like the kind of it's not like people are walking around with cowboy boots, which I had seen actually
okay
in Germany. But
is that referred to as the American style? Is that
I hope not. I hope not. But like, I don't know. Like, I guess a really big difference from like my generation of age, but just like the location, they were real into cowboys, Indians, like stuff still, and I just don't see it as popular, of course, in our culture now. I always thought that was kind of fascinating, but
weird.
I don't know. Of course, people would ask about the Mall of America, because they knew I was from where it was, so they would ask about that a lot.
So hey, have you been to that really big mall?
Have you been to that place? It's like a village, and it's like it is. It is a village. But I don't know. Like they would ask some questions that were just kind of off. They were like, I don't know. They were more particular about our politics than I was at the time. Like
really?
When I first went out there, because they had been paying attention to our stuff, and I was like, I'm fucking 17, 19, what, you know, like,
as a result, when your politics affects everybody else on the goddamn planet,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the rest of the planet tends to pay attention to your politics a little bit.
Yeah, but it wasn't like too much. There wasn't too many far out questions.
Who's president when you were? Was it into Bush? Beginning of Obama, or
I think Obama was president at the time when I went over there.
Okay,
Believe so. Yeah, sounds about right.
and what was the general take or feel of America, at least from their point of view, as far as at least how our government and our government's policies and our, you know, our behavior outside of our the continental United States. What do they think about it? What's their perspective?
Well, if I were to quote Felix on it, he would say something like, "Oh, hey, America, living the dream, killing everyone, huh? Just loving your guns and hating your black people, huh?" And
I like him already.
Dude, Felix is funny as shit, but he was like, "Oh, you're gonna come over here to Germany, or are you having too much fun with those cops?" And I'm like, God, man, you know it.
God, I hope he hears this episode.
Dude, I'll send it to him.
Holy
make sure
shit.
he knows.
I like him already.
So I love all my German friends. I would feel bad if I didn't mention all of them, but if I don't get to all of them, it happens.
Whenever you guys, Germany, whenever you decide to, you know, start invading countries again, you know, you're more than welcome to start here.
Please, I would love it. I'll help. But like, don't do it the same way.
Let's do it with hugs.
Pick a better target, like just assholes or something.
Yeah, there you go. There's plenty of assholes.
People who
out there.
freak out publicly. I would get them out of here.
Is there anything else I had to ask about that whole? Something else might come up. Now you had some interesting drug experiences in Germany. Let's start with this. What was your list of drug use before you went to Germany? What have you done?
Before my high school trip to Germany, I had only smoked weed and drank a handful of times.
Okay. So a novice.
Practically a novice.
Okay. So when you get to Germany, you've already done the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
What's the drug scene like?
Well, it took a couple times before I really got to experience more of the drug scene in Germany. I would say my third time out, second or third time, it all kind of blends together here. One time we went to a rave in Frankfurt, and I got to try ecstasy. And, you know, I'm not going to say people should do drugs, but if you're at a rave and someone says, "I've got ecstasy," you should just go for it.
Everybody should do ecstasy at least once. I mean, that's the thing.
So I'll tell you what, I've never felt the stereotype of ecstasy so real. When people are like, "Oh man, you take it and you want to dance," and I was just I was like, "Dude, I'm all about this." And we danced for 4 hours, and then I don't know. That was, I guess, the most intense in Germany that I think I got. We did truffles from Amsterdam, which are just kind of like mushrooms.
Psychotropic truffles?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They weren't spectacular. They weren't as intense as I expected them to be. On the packaging it said 7 planets of strength, you know.
Okay.
And I didn't even get off of this one, and it was ridiculous.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the
Yeah. Sorry.
And maybe it's the same. I don't know. Is there comparison as far as potency or quality versus? I'm assuming you've had some here in the States.
Yeah.
Is there a difference in quality that you've experienced?
I guess I just have more experiences here. That I would say our quality is leaps and bounds beyond the Amsterdam truffles, but unless you're talking about
about the ecstasy specifically.
Oh, ecstasy. Oh, I found out later it was I guess cut with meth, but that was.
Well, I've heard that about ecstasy here.
Right.
So you never know.
I mean, when they said it, I was like, well, we're already partying.
Well, we did a little bit of meth.
Can't stop now. But no, I mean that was that. We I guess Jonas and I had maybe more experiences when he came here for, like, after the exchange program. He came back for the year, and that's when we did acid together. We took mushrooms. Like we were doing everything when he was here. And
was that all new stuff for him?
Yeah, it was new to both of us. So we
Really?
tripped for the first time together. And
Did he get drunk and puke all over your house?
No, sadly he did not. I told him he could.
Right.
He got one free one. I take it back. There was one he did throw up in my car.
Okay.
But that wasn't as big of a deal because it didn't get everywhere. He didn't super soak or anything.
Was that his first trip to America?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
And what do you think? Did he like it here?
Yeah, he's been itching to come back, but with the leukemia and stuff that he was later diagnosed with, it's been an issue on.
Tell me about that.
Come back.
Since we're talking about that, tell me about that real fast. Whoa.
So it must have been 2015, around November. I got a message from Jonas telling me that he had been diagnosed, I don't know, a couple months earlier with acute lymphatic lymphoma, so like a leukemia cancer, and I don't know. He
was that traced to anything environmental, or is this just hereditary?
No clue. Like his family is all healthy, and so I don't know. It's just kind of one of those freak things. It just kind of hit him, and then he'd been going through that, and so my latest trip out there has been like since he had started in remission, I guess. Like he was done getting the chemo and all that. He was just kind of getting checkups and making sure everything was good. And so I was like, I want to surprise him. I met up with a friend in Amsterdam. We traveled around Germany, and then we ran into him first in Heidelberg. So like the surprise was over. Like he knew we were there, but I don't know. That was a tough year, but like now he's doing a whole lot better. His hair's growing back. Looks good.
Are they on a tax-funded medical system in Germany? Is that how that works there?
I don't know enough about it technically, but yeah, it's all like put together like that.
How do you may not know the answer to this. I'm just curious as questions are popping in my head. What do you know what quality of medical treatment he was getting?
Real good quality.
Okay.
Yeah. They had to pay quite a bit, like, you know, because though things are kind of, it's not free healthcare there. I don't think. I don't know exactly how they're
subsidized, maybe some way, and
yeah, I'm not exactly sure how their system is set up, but I know it set them back quite a bit. And, gotta be tough. Like no doubt about it. Like on top of the emotional toll that it's taken on everyone. But I don't know. At least we can say that he's made it through. He's where he is now. He's in school. He's in a university over there. Okay. So I've yet to see him now that he's back in school.
Okay. Good. Well, hopefully he can come back. That's
absolutely.
Get you guys both on together. So okay, enough of the sad stuff. Let's talk about probably the most important component.
Absolutely. Of
your trips to Germany. How many German girls did you fuck?
No, I know. Just one.
Just one?
Just one.
Is that like all you're allowed to over there? You just rationed one as an American? They just issue you one German vagina and like you're allowed this one?
It was the Argentinian German that we had been in contact with.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It was, you know, it was still when I was drinking. It was before the DUI, so I don't know. I don't think who the alcohol was making me then was necessarily the best me I could be. But
you weren't living your best life, huh?
Yeah, but I don't know. We had sex a few times, and I don't know. It was like a good relationship, and like we kept talking a little bit afterwards. But like at the point, it's like when am I coming back? There's still life going on. She's in school now too. It's like biochemistry chemistry, something. I don't
Right.
know. She's doing cool shit. Everyone I know over there is doing cool shit, but it's like I haven't visited. They've got things. It's all coming sad again, but like she's the coolest person I've ever met. So
what's the trying to see a way to ask this tactfully? What is the
babe ratio?
no, what's the how do you say it? In America, when you bang with a fellow American woman or guy or whatever you're into, right? There's a certain predictable type of personality or exchange or whatever. Is it different over there? Is there different, culturally different, like as far as the process, the actual
like
sex? I
like
mean, is there standards different? I mean, is it like
all right, getting to the sex, like
all of
like
it,
the sexual script, if you will?
Yeah. That's a good way. Like, is there anything different to it? I mean, you got to make more effort, less effort? Do you gotta,
if I'm gonna
you gotta touch them a certain way versus over here? Do you are you going to get a finger in your ass every time you sleep with a German woman? Is that like a guarantee?
Well, I think if you're not getting a finger in the ass every single time you're banging, why are you banging?
Thank you.
Fucking throw two, man. Who knows?
Thank you.
Have fun. But no, in my experience...
And eventually a fist is just a one big finger.
Might as well. That's usually the German films I see anyways.
Right.
It's a whole head going in there.
Right.
But no, I seem to notice that German women seem more reserved when it comes to sex. Like they... At least for the majority of German women that I've met, they're not ones to like meet and just bang someone right away. Okay. However, there were a couple in the village that I was told about. One of them, I think, was like in a Playboy magazine once from their town, but
they had their own little.
Yeah, there's I don't know. I remember them telling me, Felix was telling me something like, yeah, she's giving everyone in the village head, dude, especially Americans. She loves Americans. You should go over there and talk to her. She'll give you head. And like, he would say this kind of shit, but like.
So she's just like, her vagina was like a tourist trap? Is that what you're saying? Is that?
that was like what
come see the world's largest ball of yarn and then get your dick sucked by Tammy.
By this girl. This German girl is sucking everyone's dicks out here. No, as far as I know, she was just like a model and like maybe was promiscuous a little bit, but like it wasn't
you say normal. Promiscuous, I say patriotic. I don't know.
She was doing the right thing when she needed to. But I've noticed a lot more German like reserved girls when it comes to sex. They'll be playful and like sexy and like fun and like maybe they'll make out a little bit, but like it's not often that I heard stories over there. It's like, yeah, we met, we just smashed, never talked again. Like I don't know how Tinder's working out there, but I'm sure it's
so that whole, when you have sex in Germany, you got to shit on each other. That's a myth.
Well, I mean, we did it.
Because I'm going to cancel my tickets now if it is.
I mean, I think you can just go for it. There's like a moment there at the end where it's like...
I mean, that should be your punishment. When you attempt to, to kill off a whole group of people, you should now have to let visitors come into your country and shit on you during sex.
Yeah. At least once.
That's like, fair, right, Juice? Right? I don't know.
Depends on who you talk to, for sure. For sure.
Oh, that's a pretty good trade-off.
Some people are like, yeah, just go for it. Is there another reason you could do it? Our beer was too flat? Oh, please.
Right?
No, there are a lot of places where they would have like warm beer, and that kind of bothered me.
That's every drink over there, right? They're not a big...
Yeah, I mean, like...
They don't do ice.
They don't do a lot of that, no. I mean, they have ice, of course, but like... Whoa, hot shot. Right. What are you doing with all that ice? No, like...
Can I get a glass of iced tea? Oh, here you go, but it's just tea.
Yeah, they still had like Burger King, McDonald's.
Really?
They had KFC. Trying to think. They didn't have a Taco Bell. They were lacking. Jonas hated that about going back home after being here for that year.
He liked Taco Bell?
Dude, he loved Taco Bell. I mean, we were always getting high.
Why don't we have a Taco Bell over there yet? We're building all these bases everywhere on this goddamn planet. We should be building Taco Bells. That's how you get into these places.
Dude, they've got Pizza Hut. They've got McDonald's. That Taco Bell's McDonald's, too. It's that same company. They should fucking have a Taco Bell there.
No shit.
They should. At least it wasn't where we were, so that's where they're messing up.
Yeah, man. We should just, instead of dropping bombs, we should just drop Taco Bells on.
A bunch of them. Just big burritos.
Right?
Just fucking load them all up.
Seems like that makes way more sense.
Mm-hmm.
What was your worst experience? I mean, you had the attempted robbery. That was pretty bad. You puked on your exchange family's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Cars, German streets on the way there, house. Scarred them for life.
Probably a bunch of different things.
Anything scary or traumatic while you were there? Anything like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have came here moments?
Gosh, it was that. Oh, I guess we kind of mentioned this earlier, so it kind of comes full circle. It was the last day of school for him.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at this like beach gathering party deal. It was my first time to like receive weed and make sure we were getting weed from these like guys that they knew who just like showed up, gave it to us, and like kind of introduced me, but I was already so drunk, of course, because that's Germany, right?
Right.
And I know I get handed this aluminum foil by Jonas, and I open it up, and I go, yep, that's weed, and I give it back to him because I had thrown like 50 euros for it, and I was like, it's fine, whatever, let's do it. And they rolled a joint while I'm just kind of swaying and just kind of confused by their German because I'm not doing a very good job of understanding at this point. Right. But I'm still conscious, and then the joint gets passed around, I get a couple hits, and then like I really feel the rush of the high coming up, and I had to like turn away from the group because all their German talking. You know how like in an American circle you'll have like two people talking here and two people talking over there, and then you have to talk across the group to that one person. There's kind of that weird dynamic. You can't hear that one there's all this sound happening. It was too much in another language. I had to turn away from everyone and like walk and plus away.
German language sounds angry.
So yeah,
just
a lot of the
like
time.
A bunch of angry discussions
a lot of the
going
time. And so I just turned around, and of course everyone's like, what the hell is this American kid doing? And like I walk away, and I turn back around, they're all looking at me, and I just like full like lay back and just drop to the ground like Christ style, I suppose, and I'm looking just straight up at the stars, perfectly clear night, and everyone kind of surrounds me so I can see everyone looking down at me. They're like, what's up? And I was like, have you seen these stars? And then Pillow comes over, and he's like, you feeling okay, bud? I got something for you. I was like, what? And then he like puts his butt in my face while my eyes are closed, and I open my eyes, and there's a butt, and he farts. I'm like, whoa! And I
like raw German butt, like no pants.
No, there was pants, but it was like butt was in face, and so like it was one, and I was like, oh.
That could have caused an international incident. I think
huge.
You can't just go around farting on Americans' faces with your pants down.
And that's just one. And then I turn after like gagging, and I turn back, and his butt is still there, and he rips another fart, and I just turn and puke. And so
I like these guys already.
They're the greatest guys.
Can we send some people we don't like here, and then just bring those guys over here to come live here?
100%. We've got to find out. Like, there's got to be a trafficking.
Pillow, you can come here. I got a bunk bed.
We got a mattress for you. Perfect pillow. But I don't know. I throw up, and then of course with that story after the first big explosive night, I've been throwing up a lot. So they gave me the nickname Der Kotzmeister, which translates to the puke master. And I don't know, that was my biggest days of throwing up. After that, it just became blackouts, and that's how I get DUIs.
So, what's the legalities of drugs over there? What's legal? What's not legal?
Well, drinking and driving, you lose your license, you're done. I'm pretty sure like it's an instant. You suck. Like you're done. You never
like forever.
Again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Whoa.
Yeah. because it's a privilege. You fuck that up, you're out of here. Jonas actually recently was caught in his car at like 3 a.m. just blasting music with a bunch of his friends, just smoking a whole bunch, like filled the car, full hotbox. And it's 3 a.m. Someone called the police, or die Polizei. And he doesn't even notice when the police officer comes up and knocks on the window, and he just opens the window, and of course, classic Cheech and Chong moment. But could you imagine Cheech and Chong in German, Hans and Don or something like?
Right.
And just all this smoke comes out, and they all just start laughing, like the cop too, and he's like, "All right, get out." But like that was, I think, like $1,000 fine, and like, I don't know, something like 6 months without his license, and he had to take some course or something. I could be wrong on the punishment there, but shit. Like, weed's not a joke either, especially not in a vehicle. So I don't know.
So there's nothing just illegal, or nothing that's just legal as far as drugs go that you can just buy and use. That's
nope.
Oh shit.
Yeah, fucking. I remember to buy weed there. My experience was I'd walk with our group, Leon, Felix, Pillow, Vincent. God, I don't want to miss anyone. Leon, did I already get him? I don't know. All of us. We'd walk over to this park that was nearby. There'd be like families and children playing, and then there'd be like a couple like teenage, my age looking dude just like sitting at like a park bench, and like my buddy Vincent would usually walk over and like just give him the money, and he'd walk back to the group, and we'd have weed, and then we'd go smoke. It was just a really strange, like, spot of operation.
Right.
Like, I was like, that was that.
Like here, it's the worst place to do it.
Right. I was like, oh, what the fuck is next to a park? He was like, yeah, we're all just people, and this is a park. And I was like, fair enough. Like,
right.
Wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
But I had another question about that. About the exchange there. Oh, the quality of the weed. Is it like what you're getting from some random weed dealer that you may know here? Is it that good a quality, or is it?
I think the usual case is people get it in like bulk from Amsterdam, bring it back, or which is weird, by the way, because Amsterdam gets a lot of their weed from us.
Really?
Yeah, because they can only grow so much, and especially with like their demand, they need more, so they have legal places to import from. Like
they got to be slacking a little bit now, because now so many Americans don't have to go over there. It's like fuck Amsterdam now.
Yeah.
We got legal. I just go to Denver now.
Why would I even bother with this? It's like I'm gonna go to Amsterdam.
I'm gonna go look at fucking
Denver
tulips
weed?
and fucking windmills. I was going over there for weed and prostitutes. Now I got all that shit here.
The place is cool as fuck, though. I definitely recommend it. Yeah.
So you did the Amsterdam thing too, right?
Yeah. I was offered
now that's like
cocaine and sex a couple of different times and said no because I was already on mushrooms and very high.
So you pussed out. Okay, fair enough.
Dude, I mean, I wasn't about to spend like $120 to have sex.
Is that how much it costs?
The one that was talking to me, I think it was like a blowjob, but like 120 euros.
120 euros is
roughly like
75. Oh no, it's more. 140.
Yeah. Something like
for
that.
For a blowjob? $140 for a blowjob?
Yeah. I mean, if you would have seen her, you understand these are professionals, my dude. They get the checks. They make sure everyone's clean. Like, you gotta play the rules when you have sex out there.
But that doesn't count for dudes, right? I mean, that's just blowjobs, right? That's just a...
Not just so what is that? That's not real sex.
I don't know. I'll take a discount if a little risk of a little scurvy or a little whatever an STDs are.
It's all about the experience, man. Bring something home. Souvenirs.
Right?
That's what it's all about.
So you didn't do any prostitutes?
Nah. Try to stay clear.
You did weed over there? You did...
Mushrooms, ecstasy.
Mushrooms over there, ecstasy over there.
I did some cocaine and Molly, I guess, too.
What was the cocaine like over there?
Pretty good. Pretty fucking good.
Okay.
Real solid.
What's a gram go for over there in American dollars?
I could ask. I don't know. I'd have to find.
More or less than $100 a gram, is it?
It's probably pretty similar to here because their weed was, I think, on a pretty similar system. It was like 50 euros for an eighth.
Okay.
Something like that. Oh, the rules when it came to the street and stuff were pretty similar. I was almost robbed with Jonas once. We were just in Frankfurt. We had like gone to a mall or something. We were meeting some friends there on our way back. I don't know, we passed this guy and we had just bought a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like a bowl that I had that I broke the first day I came back to America. It was so sad. But we passed this guy and he just a huge like whiff of bud. And we were like, well, we need to get some.
Right.
So we're like, yo, dude. And Jonas was talking to him like, you got something. And he's like, yeah. And so we gave him like $40. And he gives us this aluminum foil. We open it up. It's like a dime. Like just a little bit. We're like, no. He gives a $5. And we like follow this guy down like an alleyway. And he gives us a little more. And like these other couple of guys are like jumping out, and he's like, "Is that enough?" And it still wasn't enough. But we're like, "No, this is fine. We'll go."
This
like,
works for me.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And we left. So I don't know. That might have been a close call.
Close call there. Yeah, how demanding you were.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's crazy.
Great time.
Oh, all right. Here's the part about your experience in Germany that you mentioned you want to talk about that sounds interesting. What was you were there during one of the World Cups?
Yeah, I was there for a couple of them.
For a couple of them, okay.
Yeah.
Soccer does absolutely nothing, or football does absolutely nothing for me. But the idea of that being their big thing over there, right? Their cultural reaction to that stuff. What was going down there? And it's like their Super Bowl, right? So it's like
pretty much, yeah.
But maybe even to another degree because there's some nationalism tied into this, right?
100%. Like we kind of talked about earlier, is like that's their opportunity to wear their flag again and like feel proud of Germany because they're great soccer players and they do well.
Not the old flag.
Yeah. Not that
new
one. Yeah, the one with the plus sign or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the one. I don't know. This is like their time to like really get behind something that they put together,
right?
And I don't know, I was there for not this last World Cup.
And the irony of them having to cheer on a team that's mostly not white.
Oh gosh, how did they get into this predicament?
Right. Master of race.
That was really going somewhere, right?
Please. Can't even do a bicycle kick, Master Waste, man.
Austrians, man, I'm telling you. But sorry, I lost my train of thought again.
Sorry.
No, fair. No, it's totally fair. It's reasonable.
You're talking about the World Cup.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was there for the last one, not this one that just passed, but the one before. So I think that was 2014.
Okay.
Was the last World Cup I was there for. And we were at this place that we call I'm trying to think. Hundeplatz. The Hundeplatz. It's like one of our friends, I think it was Matz's parents, own like this dog training facility. Okay. And like it's also a bar. It's where also people can like bring their dogs for like competition stuff. But we would go there and we'd drink.
Wait, they bring the dogs for competition stuff?
Yeah, it's just like what his parents did at this place. But like outside
like what kind of competitions? Like
I don't know, dog competitions.
Like fanciest dog or maybe. Smartest dog?
It could have just been like a dog school. I don't know if I ever really understood.
Okay.
But they would just call it the Hundeplatz because it's like the dog place. The place where the dogs chill.
Okay.
So I don't know, and it has a big like projector, so we were watching the Brazil Germany game.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw or heard anything about that one, it was Germany, I think, won 7-2 or something. Like, and it was in Brazil, so super embarrassing to watch them just get destroyed like that. But I'm in Germany, and like one goal after another. We're all taking shots each goal. We're all cheering. We're blasting techno music. We're having like the best time. But like that's just the energy to most of like the watching parties in Germany. So I don't know. This last one we've seen them lose was so heartbreaking. But I don't know. When they get going, and it's the best time to be German. And the only time. Otherwise, after that, don't mention it.
And you just chill out and you go back to just being like, we're not German anymore. So, is this, if you could do it over, is this the country you still would want to go to? Is this neighbor?
Dude. I still have no doubt in my mind I'll live in Germany before I die.
Really?
Or I will die in Germany.
No shit.
Yeah, I love it. I know the language enough to pass as fluent here in Amerika. And, like, I've held conversations with other, like, pretty fluent German speakers. And, like, whenever there's a moment, I'm just like, sorry, I gotta give me a minute. And they're like, whoa, what? And I was like, I gotta think about this word. It's like, you sounded like you just were German. Like,
right.
But, I don't know.
You make a good spy. You're a spy level
I can blend in a little bit. No ambition.
All right.
But I don't know. Like, I guess it shaped who I was since I was changing who I was in high school. You know what I mean? Like, I was going through the natural change. German, the language was there. It was neat to learn with my friends, and then it expanded into this whole other thing.
I think that's the perfect time. I can't remember on a podcast or two before you were talking about it was an episode with a cop I interviewed, and we were talking about when was a good age to for a cop to be a cop, and he and I both agreed that 25 would be the best age because you tend to do a lot of maturing, and you were in Germany right in that range where I feel like at least I did, that the teens to 25 range. I did a lot of growing up, so it's very cool to see a different perspective at that time when you're starting to actually trying to get your head together as a man a little bit, and you're in this foreign land while you're doing it. That's got to be something special there.
It's weird because like each time I've gone has like had a significant kind of timing in my life, like a point I can remember. Like,
nice.
It kind of accelerated towards drinking each time a little.
Okay.
But like I have yet to go back after the DUI because since now I drink responsibly.
Okay.
It's just that mouthwash is too damn good. But otherwise, like I feel like the next trip now has to be relatively soon because now I'm at a different point in my life. Jonas is doing better. Like I don't know, it's due for a visit.
You gotta do some comedy over there too, man.
Exactly.
You're a funny dude. You gotta take your comedy over there. You've already puked on the place. Now you gotta.
I gotta puke all over the place.
You gotta spew some jokes now.
Goddamn right.
Okay, last questions here. We'll end on this.
All right.
Okay, this is your chance. Okay, no holds barred. All right, no restraint. Don't worry about hurting anybody's feelings. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What is the dumbest fucking thing about Germany that they do over there compared to here? And vice versa. What is the smartest thing they do here that we do here fucking stupid?
That one I've got an answer for right away.
Go for it.
Something I do not see ever, I'll even say ever. I've seen it maybe once in America, but I've almost never seen this. In Germany, their windows operate super efficiently. So of course they're locked. They have a little handle on it.
Okay.
And then when you pull it sideways, it opens up like a door would. So it like opens up wide way.
Okay.
Not usually a screen, but you can have a screen. And then if you close it and you put it like all the way up, you can just have it tilt the top. So then it just kind of has a little bit of a draft in.
Are they the ones that started that?
Mm-hmm.
Some new homes
Yeah.
have a version of that.
It's smart.
And that's a selling point. Like, oh, look at these. It's so easy to clean these windows because you can tilt the window in, you clean it on the outside.
Mm-hmm. And like
they came up with that?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I'm sure that they're Germans.
Right, they come up with all the good shit.
But they also had like the setup, so it's like you close the window or whatever, but then they have the curtains that are like mounted inside, but like on the outside of the window, so you can still like have the window open, but then you have like this shade that's like you can close it to complete darkness, but you can also have it open to just like little beads of light. I mean, their window structuring, I'm gonna tell you, German architecture, A1.
But specifically the windows for you.
But the windows, I love the windows. I've lost it over there for the windows.
That's fair.
And their Germnay. The Germnay is the best.
The what?
Germnay. It's essentially falafel.
Okay.
But I'll tell you right now, in comparison to Germnay, every falafel here I've ever tasted is full awful, my dude. It's so bad. You need to have Germnay in Germany. That's, I'm saying, number one.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll put them there. Now, you got to give me one. You got to give me the reverse now. What's the stupid fucking thing they do in Germany that they haven't figured out the right way to do it like we do it here?
God, that's a really good question. I know.
It can't be an easy, like, they're not even keeping up with the Kardashians over there.
Fuck that,
They're fucking dumb.
You know, the sad thing is they are, and that's a problem. Fuck, but that's not the dumbest.
That's our gift to the world is fucking ignorance.
God,
here you go, rest of the planet. Here's something stupid.
They
gotta do something, right?
I don't know if it's as true anymore. I think it's still relatively true. They I think my family's house had it. They don't have a whole lot of air conditioning. They don't do a whole lot of air conditioning. So like if it's hot, it's windows. Like it's the majority of German homes are doing windows unless they have like a temperature control like basement or something like that. But otherwise, they're usually.
What's average summertime temperature there? Is it
hot as fuck, dude?
Really?
Hot as fuck, my dude.
But they're not hot. They're not fat fuckers like we are over here.
No. They're all.
So it's not like they're sweating balls all the time over there. And
some
are.
Some.
Okay.
I was a fat, sweaty fuck over there. Goddamn. There's probably a lot of the alcohol too.
Right.
Just sweating all the goddamn time.
So that's it. That's it. That's the only place they're dropping the ball is lack of AC.
Oh man, you know, I'm trying to think if there's.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but you know, this is your chance to tell Germany what the fuck, man. Why they've
never done me wrong.
Fair enough.
I mean,
maybe it is. Maybe they're perfect. Maybe they are the master race now.
Here's the problem.
Once they figured out not hurting people.
It could be a problem with me. I was told by my German exchange brother that I was too nice for their country. And it was just because, like, I was always just like, hello, wie geht's? And, like, they're not into small talk. That's something I can say is pretty stupid.
Really?
They're not into it. Because it's like, what are you bothering me with this bullshit for? What's the business? You know, they're the no-nonsense.
They would fucking hate my girlfriend.
They're logical, and that's the point. That's a lot of their.
Have you ever dated? Maybe it's all girls, right? Because like when my girlfriend like tells me a story, like she can't just tell me like the facts of the story.
Right.
Like it's got to be this fucking roundabout way. Like it could be something dumb, you know, like I got a free gallon of milk at the store, but I have to hear this whole fucking, you know, War and Peace novel story of how we got to the free gallon of milk part. Mm-hmm. They would fucking hate her over there because they don't want to hear that, right? They're efficient, right? Mm-hmm. They're busy fucking making fucking devices and fucking awesome cars and fucking crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. You can't be too wrong. I mean, of course, they still have the people who babble a bit too much.
Right.
In
they would
German
hate this
too.
fucking show.
Yeah.
They're like, this shit should have been over an hour ago. 15 minutes of just.
They're going to want to hear the rest of this.
Right. It's going to drive me crazy. Anything else, man?
No, man. Thank you for having me on. Dude,
Thank you for doing this.
Time.
This has been a very, very good episode. This is a good palate cleansing for some of the episodes I've had before. This is very good.
I hope people learn a little bit about Germany and, you know, get out there and halt die Fresse. Ich brauche keine Hilfe.
Loosely translated, that means destroy all the Jews.
Close. It means shut the fuck up. I don't need any help.
Right. Say hello to all your German friends that are going to be listening to this episode.
Alle meine deutsche Leute, ich liebe euch. Bis bald.
That's it?
I mean, I don't know.
What's up with Pillow? I didn't hear no Pillow.
Dude, Pillow, Jonas, Felix, everybody. Dude, I don't have the list of you guys right now. You're all great.
You guys are all invited to come to America and hang out with us.
Damn right. When we get
go
you
to
over
Taco
here
Bell.
and you're stuck here and whatnot, we'll all come do this.
Right. Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Right on, Drew. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
All right. There it is. That episode is done. Congratulations. You made it through. That was definitely a longer episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I'm not trying to make any hard and fast rules about how long episodes are. I just try to keep them. I have a minimum. My minimum goal of the interview section is at least 45 minutes of conversation with the guest. And outside of that, it's really just, to me, it's the flow of the conversation. If the conversation is going good, or if there's more details, if there's more stuff that we need to get to, then I'll keep going. Or if I'm having more fun in conversation, then I just keep going. I know there's often a debate about, sometimes these podcasts are too long. I don't need a podcast over 2 hours. I don't need a podcast over. Well, listen to it in a couple sessions. I don't know what to tell you. I prefer the long form. When I'm listening to podcasts, I like, at least an hour long podcast. I just enjoy the conversation and the amount of depth that you get when talking with somebody for an hour or more. That's what I enjoy. So I don't know. Feel free to shoot me your input, positive or negative, or anywhere in between. As of right now, just send it to filterfreeamerica@gmail.com. Filterfreeamerica, America misspelled intentionally with a K, @gmail.com. And you can give me your 2 cents about podcast length and all that stuff. You can give me about your 2 cents about podcast girth too, if you'd like, and shaved or not shaved, or washed or not washed, or pierced or not pierced, whatever you like your podcast to be. You can tell me all that, and I may or may not use that to make decisions about what I do with this podcast. Or I may just send you a little emoji back that just gives you a little winky eye. I don't know. Whole deal. But I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I enjoyed it. I think Drew's not only a funny guy, but I think he's a very interesting dude, and just a cool dude to kind of talk to. So yeah. Anything else I need to tell you guys business-wise? Boom. I got to mention the sponsor again. You got to say it on the in, going in and going out. That's the magic. Simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us. That's our sponsor. That's where you go when you want some help, some assistance, a helping hand for building Squarespace websites. Check them out. Let them help you. Because they help us, and then if you go to them for help, then it's a big kind of a circle jerk of help going on between us all, right? Kind of deal. God, I feel like there's something else I had to tell you. I don't know. This podcast was plenty long enough. You guys are great human beings, even though you may not realize that. You are. You're wonderful. You're important. Each of you are an individual. You each individually have value. I hope you all individually realize that. And conversely, I hope you all collectively realize that collectively we're all important and valuable. We should all love each other, take care of each other, get to know each other, work to, improve the world for each other, right? Try to say positive things at the end. I know I don't know if you picked up on that. I've been accused in the past for being a dark and jaded individual, which I am. I own that. But I always try to leave now. I try to put a little positive vibe at the end, because that's honestly what I'm trying to do in life. But take care of each other, guys. Go out there, do a good deed today. Help an old lady across the street, right? Or help an old street across a lady, however that works. And I don't know, give somebody a high five just randomly, carry some disinfectant so you can wash your hands, because you don't know where people have been when you high-fived them. They could have been scratching their balls, playing in their asshole or something like that, and you really don't want that on your hands, especially if you're eating chips or something. What else? Oh yeah, spade neuter your pets and your children, and keep seeking the truth. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.